Today I'm going to show you how to replace your default jump animation with 3 custom animations, and they get called randomly, right? And you could change the weighting. I'll show you how to do that. I thought that'd be pretty cool. We got like a little flip here, we got a straddle, and then another flip. We got a Mario jump too. There we go, there's the Mario jump. All right, let's go ahead and get started with our custom jump animations. I have an empty base plate, there's nothing in my game, and the first thing I want to do is make a jump animation. So here from the Home tab, I'm going to go over to Avatar tab, and then I am going to go to Rig Builder. Now I am going to use an R15. If you know the difference, you could do an R6, but if you don't, do R15, because that's the default, right? And it'll work on both. Jumps are pretty simple. Let's go down to, I'm going to pick Mesh Avatar, but you can pick the one you want. There we go, we got a rig. Let's go ahead and zoom on in so that we can start building our animation. Go to this button right here, Animation Editor, click that, and then if it doesn't show up, unclick it, click it again. Sometimes that does that. And then select your rig. I'm going to do a Mario-like animation. So let's do Mario jump anim. All right, because it's going to look a little bit like a Mario jump. Go to these 3 dots and set animation priority to movement. However, we're going to use the animate script, which overwrites that priority anyway. So it'll work no matter what you put in there, but it's good practice, right? Because a jump is a movement. You can go ahead and save it again if you want. Let's grab an arm and I'll move this up. All right, maybe like that. I'm going to get a little closer. Get the lower arm, pop it up maybe one more, and we'll get the leg. Let's go back. I'm going to do 75. 75 is good. Get the lower leg, maybe a little more. That'll work. Let's get his arm. Now remember, if his arm goes back too far, it's going to flip this way when we switch to the jump. You'd have to add an extra keyframe. But I think 45 will definitely do it. Will definitely be okay. 60 will do it once we reduce our transition time and increase our jump time. But you can play around with that. Should we go this way? We'll go. How about 105? That's pretty good. Get the lower leg. Pop that down 1. I think we got it. All right, so the animate script will run this until the jump animation ends. So we only really need 1 set of keyframes, unless you want to do other things in the jump, and that's why I added the flip. But we're gonna keep this one simple. So you don't have to loop it. We could save it off again. Hit these 3 dots. How about publish to Roblox? Now remember, only you can run the ID that you published, or if it's under Team Create, anybody on your team can do it. So if you use my ID, it's not going to work. All right, let's do Mario jump anim and save. We want to get this number here. If you click these boxes, it'll copy the ID. Close. I'm going to shut my animation window for now so I have more space. Go up to the rig. Open that up. Go to the animate script on the rig. Open that up. We're going to go to the jump, open that up. I'm going to rename that jump to something like Mario jump anim so we don't get confused. Now this is the animation. We're going to need to change the ID. Remember we hit that ID copied boxes thing. Just go ahead and click here under animation ID, right click and paste, or you could do Control V, hit enter. Cool. You got the prepended RBX asset ID stuff. You just have to put the ID in. All right. And another thing we're going to do is we're going to add a weight because we're going to have multiple jumps, and weighting is how you determine which jump you like more, right? I'm going to keep them even weighted. Here, I'll show you. You don't have to understand. Here, hit the plus, and then let's do a number value. Click on that, and we'll say weight. And it's going to use the total, so it's going to normalize them. It doesn't have to all add up to like 10 or 100 or 1 or whatever. I am going to do a value on the weight of 3. I'm going to make all 3 animations equal weight, 3, 3, 3. Now we can test our jump animation. Let's go to animate. I'm going to close that script so it's a little easier to deal with. I'm going to right click. I'm going to copy it. I'm going to go down to starter player, open that up. Under starter character scripts, we are going to paste into. That is going to load this script to players' characters as they enter the game, overwriting the old animate. And now we have our ID in there. So when we play it, we should have our special jump. Let's hit the play. And there we go. Sweet. That's pretty cool. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to hold this jump a little bit longer. So I am going to go to not this animate script because we're just going to copy and paste, right? We're only going to update this one up here. Let's do animate up under the rig, right? And I'm going to do a control F. And then how about jump anim, right? And the duration, I want to increase my duration to 0.4 seconds. And I'm going to decrease my fall transition time to, how about 0.1? Just kind of change it up a little bit, give our game a little bit of a different feel. Now we have to recopy, right? So copy, get rid of this old one, delete, paste into, and now you'll see a little bit difference with the timing. See, it kind of holds it a little bit longer. I like that. Yeah. That arm swings a lot, but I think it's all right. Cool. Let's work on our next animation. Let's turn this off. Over here in the Explorer, let's go back to our rig, right? There's our rig. And then under the animate script, we're going to open that up again. And then for the jump, I'm going to put placeholders for my other two jumps, right? That way, when I make an animation, I can just put the ID right in. I don't have to worry about fumbling around, making something new. So I'm going to do a Control D to duplicate, or you could right click and hit duplicate, right? This one's going to be like the straddle jump. Let's do that. How do you spell straddle? Straddle jump. Y'all know what I mean, right? And then that weight is also 3 because I just copied the whole thing, right? Let's do a Control D to duplicate again. And then this will be the flip jump. And the reason I'm adding this is so we'll have multiple keyframes in a jump, just so you can see that it can be done. So I'll do flip jump. That's also going to be 0.3. Now we got to change the IDs, right? We don't have the IDs set. This is all the same Mario jump. Go to animation editor, click it. There we go. Oh, it didn't open. Like I said, sometimes it doesn't. Click it off, click it on. There it is. Now we're going to go to the 3 dots. We are going to make sure we saved it and then hit the 3 dots again, create new. I'm going to call this straddle jump, right? Straddle jump. How about straddle jump anim, right? 3 dots, just for good practice. Movement, set animation priority to movement, right? You can save it again just to be sure. I think what I'm going to do for these arms, I'm just going to move them up, right? Like he's going to fly. All right, there we go. Maybe 75 degrees. 75 degrees. Get this arm, get this leg right here. I'm going to move it up this way to 90. And then this way out, 75? 75. That's pretty good. Let's get the other leg, right? Move this one up to 90. And then move that to 75. Cool. Should we put keyframes on these other body parts? I don't think we need to. We could find out. Nice. We'll find out testing, right? Hit the 3 dots. We'll save it off. Hit the 3 dots again. Publish to Roblox. I got to shrink my window a little bit so I get my save button. Straddle, jump, anim. Looking good to me. Save. Now we got to get those 3 dots, or those 2 boxes, I mean. Get those 2 boxes. Boom. All right, ID copied. Where's our straddle jump? We got to go up, right? We got to go up. And then in the rig, right? In the rig, under the animate, let's go down to the jump, straddle, jump, anim. Click on it. Control V. Boom. All right, now we can test it. But remember, we're going to have more weight on this on the Mario jump because Flip still has the Mario, right? Of course, you know what we could do. Here, I'm going to close this. I'm going to go to the straddle jump A&M weight, and I'm just going to make it 6. And that should give it a 50-50 shot of which one it is. Don't forget, we got to change it back, though. So let's go to our animate script. We can close it and then copy. We're going to go down to starter player scripts, starter character scripts. There we go. Delete the old A&M. Paste into with the new. Hit the blue button to play it. There we go. We got them. That's pretty good. I like it. All right, let's turn this off. Now we got to work on our flip, right? We got to flip the guy. Let's click our rig. Might as well open this animate to get ready. We're going to put this flip, jump, A&M. And also, I am going to switch this straddle jump weight back to 3. And you can play with those numbers. You don't have to have it 3, 3, 3, right? So we're gonna be heading for this flip jump next. Click the animation editor again, and then we're gonna click our rig. Make sure it's saved. Make sure your old animation is saved off. Let's create a new one, right? And then this one we're gonna call, how about flip, jump, A&M. And for good practice, hit the 3 dots, set animation priority to movement, and now we're gonna make them do a little flip. All right, so I'm going to get close to the leg right here. Just go ahead and give him a little tuck. Should we go up to maybe 120 on the upper leg? Can I get that lower leg? There we go, lower leg. Bring it down to 120. Upper leg, 120. Lower leg. Whoops, that's the foot. Lower leg, 120. We'll bend his chest forward a little bit. 1? Is it 1 good? Yeah, one will be good. And then maybe the head. Yeah, 2 I did. So I have a 15-degree increment. So that was 30 degrees. Let's pull this arm up. Maybe not that high. How about just 45 degrees? Get the lower arm. Just pull that in. Maybe get the hand. Is that close enough? Close enough for a video. That's what I'm saying. All right, let's get this other arm. I don't remember what we had. 45. That's right, 45. And then this one, we're going to tuck in. And then this one, the hand, tuck in. There, that's not bad, right? Now, the one thing I don't like doing with animation is messing with the lower torso, right? But we have no choice. Can I get it? That's it right there. We have no choice with a flip. So I think what I'm going to do, as he starts the animation, let's put him at like 45 degrees. And then I'm going to copy selected. Our animation's probably going to run about, 6 frames? Because we set it at 0.4 seconds. And there's 15 frames a second. Oh, we have it on 30 frames a second, right? So we could go out to 12, right? 0.4 times 30. I know, hold on. 0.4 times 30 frames, 12. We can go out 12 frames. All right, let's do that. So let's copy this again. I kind of forgot where it's at. And 12 would be about here. I think I'm going to shorten it up to like 9 seconds, right? And then we'll do a paste keyframes. And maybe we'll do one here. Paste keyframes. Paste keyframes. All right, so they're all the same. Let's go to this one right here, right here. And then we're going to go 45 and then 1, 2, 3. And then we'll go to this one right here. Go down here, Control Z. It's got red, right? 1, 2, 3. So I'm basically just kind of equispacing it so that my NPC definitely knows the path it wants to go on. Actually, if I go up here, 1, 2, 3, there we go. That should work. Let's go ahead and save that. Boom. Hit the 3 dots. And then we'll do publish to Roblox, flip, jump, anim, save it, right? Hit the 2 boxes, ID copied. We'll close it. Did I ever set that animation priority? You might want to do that. Yeah, I did. Okay, movement. Cool. And then let's go over to this is our rig, animate. It looks like it alphabetized them there. Flip, jump, anim. So find it. Control V. Wait. Now let's get our script. Copy it. I can close this so I have more room, right? Close that. Go down to starter player, starter character scripts. Get rid of the old one. Delete. Paste into. Hit the play button. Now, we have a choice of 3 different animations. There's one. There's our flip. Hey, that flip looked pretty good. And we're having a little trouble with the Mario one. You want to just check the settings on those? Let's do that. Let's go here. I mean, a Roblox what do you call it? Randomizing isn't always that great, but let's do a little bit more on how about the Mario jump? Let's just pop that up to 4. I shouldn't say that. I'm sure their random number generator is fine. Let's hit the plus. There we go. We got a Mario one. Got a bunch of them now. Sweet. So now we have 3 random ones. That's pretty cool. All right. I will see you in the next video.